All right, we're back. Another live stream. A little bit of a hoarse voice, but comes with the territory. Thank you all for joining. Oh, we got a commercial in the back. My bad. Thank you all for joining. Hopefully back to our usual schedule here and no more health interruptions or anything of that nature. But good to be back on the Thursday live streams here. And of course, we're going to be doing our Sunday live stream back on the beach. I'm back in Jamaica. Good to be here. Good to be back with the community. And lots to discuss today. I initially wanted to go over the Washington Post article, but I don't have like super amounts of energy. So I'm actually going to save that for Sunday. And I think we're going to get a larger audience, a larger crowd on our Sunday live stream. So I'm going to save that article for, I'll touch on it a little bit today, but I won't necessarily go into the details of it. But very, very, very awesome read. And of course, very grateful to be a part of such, I would say it's a great piece of literature, in my opinion. So very nice to see you all. Thank you, everybody, for the well wishes on the community page. I'm going to respond to all of them. I just haven't had the time to do so. So I'll make sure that I do that between today and tomorrow, definitely before Sunday. But a lot of exciting things coming up in the next few weeks. And like I said, a lot to discuss today and then also on Sunday. And of course, please let me know where you're chiming in from in the chat. Always love to hear where you're from, even if you've done it already. I think I'd like to hear every time, no matter what. I think that's pretty cool to hear from people from all over the world in different cities, different countries, etc. And I think we'll start there. But thank you all for joining in and for chiming in today on this live and get to some of the comments. Hi, Millicent. Thank you for being here. Hey, Kay, got your question in the chat on the community center. Andrew, thanks for coming in. Synthwave, good to see you. Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So just a heads up, we have a little construction going on outside. So if you hear a little drilling, a little concrete falling, that's what that is. But it sounds pretty good in my headphones here. So I hope you're not picking up any background noise there. I think we're going to be okay here inside of the studio. So I guess to start with, Chris chiming in from Strong Island. Nice. Always representing the island. The community page, that was, I should be able to share it here. Yeah, I got you, Chris. So I'll throw that in here in the chat there. And I guess we can start. Well, let's go through the comments. Of course, I asked everybody where everybody's from. So yeah, let me know. So Buckley says, hi, Throp. I'm so happy you're doing well after COVID, joining you from Portland, the other Portland as in Oregon. Okay, gotcha. My husband and I are big fans of your show. We'll be coming in to JA in January. Awesome. Hopefully I get to meet you both. Thanks for chiming in. Miss Perfectly Imperfect chiming in from Brooklyn. Awesome. Was just there a little while ago, like a few days ago, actually. But that's the community page. We're going to start there. So keep the comments coming. We'll get to them in a second. And in the community page, I made a post, and I guess we can talk about it here as more people start joining in, about a real estate attorney. Actually, sorry, let's do a little catch up before I get into that. And to start with, we were at both myself and Candice, we were at VidSummit. I'm going to see if I could pull up a picture of us really quick. We were at VidSummit in LA like all of last week. We both got in on Monday, and we basically were there to try to become a better YouTube channel. That's that's the best way for me to describe it. And we learned a lot. I was so happy Candice was able to join. She had a great time, and I learned so much from the like other creators, and it just kind of gave me so much confidence in what we're doing already with this channel, and it gave me confidence in how we're building this community and also why we're doing it. I think we are like really right on point. And as I'm talking, I'm just gonna throw up some pictures of us and LA over there, and met amazing creators in the YouTube space, TikTok space, social media space that were there, not only in the presenters, but also specifically people like in the crowd and that were part of the panel discussion. Not panel discussion, but part of the patrons like myself and Candice. And they are all like, everybody's doing like really unique stuff. Like obviously we're very niche down here with specifically talking about Jamaica, the economics of Jamaica, moving here, investing here, et cetera, and that everybody thought we were super niche. And of course we got our Throb media gear on there, representing Jamaica, representing the Throb community, and everybody was so nice and it's like super welcoming. And I guess that's just the creator community in general. This was the first night with us playing with, I wish that was real money, but they just had all this money spread around on the ground, fake money, I should say. And of course we took advantage and took our pictures with the fake money. And if you are a channel member and you are our Patreon, you saw the videos, like the inside info that we had, I would say behind the scenes, if you will. If you're a channel member, you had access to that. And it was a lot of fun, and I got into a little bit more detail. I think I have 2 more episodes coming out this week in the next couple of days for channel members and Patreons. So if you want to see the inside scoop on the behind the scenes on like who we met and who was there, you can definitely become a channel member or a Patreon to have access to that. And it was really tiring. We were up very early. I was, of course, training early in the morning, and then going through a full day of panels and networking and not getting a ton of sleep. And, you know, that's how I got sick. Actually, that's how I caught COVID. But to me, it was, I don't know if it was worth it, but it was definitely worth going. It was definitely worth networking and meeting the amazing people that we did. And we learned so much. We're still like digesting everything, as a matter of fact. And we still have a lot more to go in terms of like putting everything together. But basically, as soon as we got back, and even while we were there, we were like really focused on ThropX and making sure that we're staying on top of logistics and making sure everything is going to be run as smoothly as possible. So we couldn't even really take a second to kind of appreciate, if you will, the YouTube conference that we went to. We had to get right back to work. But we will definitely take some time to decompress, so to speak, and really soak up the event that we went to last week. But we're both very happy that we went and we took the time out. And I was, you know, super happy to have Candice come along, and she really soaked it up and had an awesome time from what she tells me. And we're definitely going to be going next year. And these things are like, I love going to these conferences, especially like these industry specific conferences. And my dad always took me to these conferences. And this is like one of like the main reasons that gave me the confidence to do ThropX, because I've been to so many since I was probably like 18. My dad used to take me to, whether it's like a charity dinner or whether it's to a business conference on a Caribbean island somewhere. You just kind of just pick up all these like little things of these experiences that you just don't even know how it's going to affect you, or how it's going to, how, like, you know, when you're going to kind of tap into that, you know, 10 years, 15 years into the future. And that's kind of what's happening with me. And that also gives me the confidence and also appreciation for going to conferences like the YouTube conference that we went to in LA last week, is because I have to be like very thankful and very grateful that my dad took the time out and had the foresight to go to these things to bring me with him. And he always tells me that like going to conferences, going to events like this, networking events is just like invaluable. And he tells me he pretty much built his career on that, going to and joining different associations and participating in their events. And so he's always encouraged me to do that. And I try to go, like I kind of make a goal to try to do 2 YouTube conferences or industry conferences, creative conferences a year. And this was my second one. So I went to one earlier in May, and it was a little bit different than this, but same thing, you know, learned a tremendous amount about the industry and met some really amazing people at the conference. And probably I'm definitely going to be going to another one next year. This one for sure is staying on my list, and I'm going to look for another one next year, and maybe hopefully we'll have a bigger team that we can bring to this thing, because it was really amazing. And like my goal with this too, and like I share this with Candice and anybody who's on the team, is like I think it's just so important that as we focus on yes, I went to this YouTube conference for the benefit of my channel, but then also I think of YouTube not from the Throp channel only, but as like Jamaican YouTubers, and like how can Jamaican YouTubers get better and really compete on a global standpoint. And what I saw at this conference was that so many people, regardless of industry, regardless of, yes, we were all competitors and everything like that, like they were just so transparent about their journey. They were so transparent about their analytics. They were so transparent about their processes. And it just made me feel like amazing that I was going to say young creators, but creators of all ages, they had this togetherness about them. And that precedent was really set by some of the biggest creators on the platform, Mr. Beast being one of them. I don't know if you all know who he is, but he has 105 million subscribers. He's the fastest growing YouTuber that's out there. And he was one of the people who were part of this company and put this entire conference together. And he set that precedent of really sharing his numbers and sharing his process and talking about it very openly and very transparently, because he also believes very highly in the platform, as do I. But my point in saying all this is this, like, and if you are a Jamaican YouTuber and then we've collaborated, like you've already heard this speech from me, and that is like, I think we need as Jamaican YouTubers to be working together a lot more. And that's what this conference taught me and showed me, is that collaboration is just so important. And not only just in terms of creating content, but collaboration in terms of holding each other accountable in the content that we create as Jamaican YouTubers, and also making sure that we are pushing each other to get better at our craft. And we do that by sharing I wouldn't say our company secrets or anything like that, but like what is a secret and anymore at this point. But I think, again, as Jamaican YouTubers and being in the Jamaican YouTube space, that we can do a better job of working together and helping each other to grow and helping to make better content to serve our audiences a lot better. And I think, like, a rising tide lifts all ships, and that's kind of my mentality. If I can help somebody else get better as a YouTuber, or if they can help me get better as a YouTuber, and we're all Jamaican YouTubers, it's like, man, we're all going to get better together. And what the conference also showed me is just like how big the pie is. And I feel like that is something missing in the Jamaican YouTube space. I feel like, just like it's a competition, yes, but it's not this cutthroat thing that it's made out to be, where, if that person makes it, then I can't make it, so on and so forth. Like, and that's not the case at all. And that was proven to me time and time again when I went to this conference. So one of the things that I'm committing to is really like doing a better job of reaching out to other Jamaican YouTubers to see if there's any way that I can be of assistance, or even I can learn from them as well, because I mean, there's so much to learn out there, and we can learn from each other and share with each other. And I'm actually going to be trying to start what they call like a mastermind group of creators. So I met a lot of creators there who are of the same mindset. All of them are under 100,000 subscribers, and they are trying to obviously grow their channels and grow their communities. But if we have this conglomerate of like-minded individuals who are ambitious and want to grow their communities, and then we can hold each other accountable and learn from each other, because that's one way that Mr. Beast got to where he is that he got together with a group of people and they just studied and analyzed YouTube like crazy. And we can do the same thing. We can study and analyze YouTube like crazy, and then we can study and analyze each other's content to lift each other and make each other better creators overall. So I'm going to definitely be reaching out to some Jamaican YouTubers who already have this mindset and are really about that and helping each other and helping to grow the Jamaican YouTube industry. And that's one of the big takeaways, like I said, that I took away from that YouTube conference in LA. And but I will. Power there, trying to get the system up and running here. But yeah, that's kind of my my rant on Jamaican, the Jamaican YouTube industry. I think there's a tremendous amount of potential in this creative space, and just need to come together a little bit. That's kind of my bottom line point here. And like I said, one of the main takeaways that I got from the conference. Yeah, let's get back into. Okay, we got it up and running. I'll just leave this on standby. Okay, up and running. All right, let's get to some comments here. Sorry about the power outage there. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it has anything to do with what they're doing outside the construction. Okay, Kay chiming in from Albany. Good to see you. Nice to have you. Yeah, I am recovered. I still have, the only thing is just like I got this is what happened I got COVID in January, and it took like weeks to get rid of like the mucus the mucus in my lungs, and like it's still there. I can feel it, and it's gonna. And I wouldn't necessarily can be concerned, but I'm literally running the New York City Marathon in 1 month from today. I didn't even realize, and I haven't even, because of my ankle injury. I don't even think I've trained. I don't even think I've ran a total of 100 miles, and I'm usually running, like, to put this in context, I'm usually running in a marathon training block, probably, I would say, around 70 miles a week. And I haven't even ran 70 miles in total in my training block. So this is going to be interesting. New York City Marathon is definitely, I'm not going to be breaking any records, to say the least. I'm going to definitely be taking it easy. But I'm going to go on a run tomorrow morning and see how I feel and see how the lungs are. But I can even feel it going up stairs. It's crazy, but I'm not nervous about it. I've been here before. It's probably going to take about 2 weeks for it to fully dissipate, but it's going to definitely take a huge toll on training for the New York City Marathon. Probably going to really have to take it easy. CB Bar chiming in from the Greater Toronto area. Good to see you, CB Bar. Boom chiming in from Camden, New Jersey. Wayne, Bush T always works. Bush T always works. My mom and my dad were telling me about that. And of course, Wayne. Stanley Franklin, afternoon, chiming in from New York. Good to see you. Marcy Bent, chiming in from the UK. Awesome. Nice to see you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I wish I could have been on Sunday. I was supposed to be on from New York, but COVID got the best of me. It happens. Thank you, Miss Perfectly Imperfect. K Natural, very nice to see you. Kay says, it is a cultural issue. We don't see the value in grinding together. We are so stuck on doing it on our own. Yeah, that's the feeling I get. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's the sense that I get. This is talking about Jamaican YouTubers working together. But I think once people see like a small group of people working together and it working, and then also, really having this transparent, like the feeling of the group is pure transparency, pure upliftment, helping each other out, then I think more people will get on board. But until then, I don't think it's hard for me to see, at least from the little experience that I have here in this industry. Yeah, it's hard for me to see that. Yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, going to keep trying no matter what. And Kay says others coming to JA and doing it, yet we aren't learning from them. Yeah, but we're gonna persevere nonetheless. We're gonna persevere nonetheless. And I think like I said, once other people see what we're doing, then they'll be like, okay, that makes sense. And hopefully it won't be just in YouTubing that they take these lessons from. Suzette Finn, awesome idea. Thank you. I think so too. Tanisha Holness chiming in from Tampa, Florida. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Misha Poise says, long COVID lasts for months, damages tissue for life. Yeah. And like last time, it really did take me a long time to get my lungs back to normal. So I'm hopefully, and I could tell you running did help me a lot. I remember that, like, running helped me a lot. It was extremely strenuous. And then also very concerning because that never happened before, where, I run marathons and train every day, and just not to have my energy and endurance, that was concerning. But then I talked to my coach about it. I forget what he told me, but he basically told me it was normal. So going to talk to him about this process as well, and the build up for New York and what to expect. But more than likely, New York is just going to be a fun run and not going to go after anything crazy. I probably, without talking to my coach, probably just use it as a place or a race to help other people hit their goals. Like, so say somebody is looking to break the 3-hour mark in their marathon, maybe I'll reach out to somebody and I can pace for them and just use it to have some fun and just do a relaxing run, because I'm running Reggae Marathon the following month in December, and I'd rather be accepting that, all right, this block didn't go according to the way that I wanted. Let's put it aside, New York aside, and just gotta have fun, and let's try to win Reggae Marathon, right? And I think that'd be pretty awesome if we could do that, right? Let's just focus on that, get my lungs back together, and try to win a marathon, which is, very few people can say that they won a marathon. It's like less than 1% of the world population, or something like a really low less than 1%. So that'll be cool. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Chris Charles says Jamaicans have redefined entrepreneur. It appears to be defined as working alone, no sharing / collaboration. Yeah, and you can only do so much by yourself. Honestly, you can only do so much by yourself, and you can only do so much working in a silo or in isolation. And you can progress so much faster and so much quicker by working with other people and helping each other out, and sharing what you learned with people that you collaborate with. And that is really going to be my approach in the next few months, and to really have Jamaican YouTube really competing on a global level in quality, and also quantity at this point is also important in terms of how consistently content is being pushed out. But we need to get, I personally believe we need to get better as YouTubers in Jamaica, especially hanging out with the people that I was hanging out with in LA. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, some of them millions, tens of millions, like the highest quality content. And to me, we as Jamaican YouTubers, like we should be shooting for nothing less. There is no reason why we can't be pushing out the best content in the world, just like they are. There's no reason why. We have the we trust me, we have the same equipment as they do. Some of them are doing it on cell phones. We just as creative, but I think what we're missing is the knowledge and understanding of how what works on the platform, and then also the exposure to the type of content. And I think what I see a lot is like a lot of Jamaican YouTubers are looking at other Jamaican YouTubers and seeing what works, and they do the same thing. And I'm just like, man, do something different, do something that is you. And like that's also my goal as well, is to really continue to bring something different to the platform, and just continuously be innovative. And I have a lot of pretty awesome ideas that I'm really excited to share with the community and start to roll out on my channel. And I will also encourage those who are part of this group that I'm going to hopefully formulate relatively soon. Hey, Shayna, love coaching. Good to see you. I am feeling a lot better. Thank you for checking in. Thank you everybody who sent me well wishes in the community page on my YouTube channel. Really appreciate that. Ingrid B says, greetings from South Florida via Mobay this week. Awesome. Glad to see you. Still fighting the illness, but still be safe, get well. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ingrid. Appreciate that. Mark McCarthy, bless up family and good friends, bro up and running. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mark. Good to see you. Black seed oil may help with your lungs. Okay. I will check that out. And I mean, I'm going to check out anything at this point. Need to really get going ASAP with these lungs. Kay says, this is why jobs won't folks back in the office, collaboration and camaraderie. Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm seeing this issues in other sectors in Jamaica. That makes sense. Yeah. There's something about, definitely something different about being in the same room with others, right? And working with them and feeding off of their energy. Treasure Beach Bess says, good evening, night from London, from UK, I should say. My first Thursday night in a while. Girl, well, glad to have you. Glad to have you on board. All right. So that's the catch up of the last week, I would say. And we were able to get off a newsletter last week, which I'm glad we were able to do while we were at VidSummit. And I guess now we can move on to the question that I posted in the community page. And I'm going to be sitting down, and I'll repeat the question here. I'm going to be sitting down this week with a pretty prominent real estate attorney, and we're going to be having a discussion about real estate law. And I asked everybody if they had any questions that they would like to ask. And I got some really, really awesome questions. And thank you everybody who participated. And if you still have questions, you can definitely still ask. And but I think these are pretty good ones. Let me hold on. I had them written down here somewhere. So I say that to say, if you have any questions that you want to ask that you didn't, you can put them in the comments or you can also ask them on the community page as well. And I will do my best to have them answered tomorrow. And if you could keep them real estate specific, Jamaican real estate specific, that is, here in Jamaica, that would be great. Sorry, I'm trying to look for this. Just looking for the questions. All right, not finding them. I'll just take them right from the YouTube page. All right, so I'm going to go through them really quickly, just so you can see which questions that have already been asked that I'll be asking, and then we'll take it from there. And if you want, like I said, if you want to add, we can add them. And so I'll just go through. I'm not going to say anybody. I'll say, if you don't mind, if you guys are okay with me saying the names, not only here but also in the interview. I also want to give credit to the people who asked, so that's what I planned on doing. Hope that's okay. If you have an issue with it, let me know. But Channel of Coaching asks, can you explain and differentiate the process of residential versus commercial real estate? Good question. Shay McBean, Realtor, asks, what are the most important things to look for and questions to ask when choosing the right lawyer for our real estate needs? Great question. T asks, can a citizen of Jamaica freely look up who owns a residential property in Jamaica? For example, if I see a piece of land or vacant home that isn't for sale, how do I find the owner? Do I need a lawyer to obtain the information? I think that's a great question. I know we have, what do they call that? The freedom to, I got really bright. I don't know why that happened. The Freedom to Information Act. I don't know exactly how that works, but I know of people who've used it to get public document information. So good question, T. Ocean Grace asks, 1, how does government calculate property tax? 2, how do you choose a good real estate lawyer who would work on your behalf instead of looking out for him or herself? 3, is there easement right of way on properties in Jamaica? 4, whose responsibility is it to ensure that there is no lien on the property? Good questions, Ocean. Tia Jones asks, if you inherit a property in Jamaica, what are the steps and costs to getting the title change in your name? Great question. Tia Jones. Brenda Brown asks, if multiple individuals own a property and all are in agreement to sell, should they seek their own attorney or use one for all involved? Another great question. JB asks, are there any real estate investment funds? Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Miss Perfectly Imperfect, how to find out who has the legal title to land/property? What is the recourse if you have purchased land without your knowledge through a third party without the owner's consent? Same question if someone has sold your land unknowingly. Good question. Great question. Dale Nelson asks, where are the best, safest places in Negril to buy condos coming from US, New York City, New Jersey area? That I don't know, Dale, I don't know if you're on here, Dale. I don't know if that is going to be appropriate for the real estate lawyer to ask. I don't think she know. I would say that's more of a realtor question. And I can answer that, Dale. We're going to circle back. I'm just going to put that in the comments so I don't forget that. I think that is a good question, but probably not for a real estate lawyer here in Jamaica. And it's it's a subjective. I think the answer is going to be subjective, but I'll answer it shortly. Where did I put it? Okay, I'm just going to put my own comment there so I don't forget. Rachel A asks, I guess the basics. As a U.S. native, what does it take to own property land criteria? Yeah, I think that's going to actually be one of probably the opening question, I would say. That's a great question, Rachel. Just so to get everybody on the same page, I think that's going to be one of the first questions that I'm going to ask. So we have context for all the other questions, because these are very great questions, like very specific questions, very specific situational questions, which I think are very important to ask. And because you hear a lot of these questions, you hear horror stories about them, right? You hear people go through these situations where you hear situations of people buy land that wasn't even the owners to sell. I could tell you, Booby K Island, for example, has been sold multiple times. I don't mean to laugh. That's a real sad situation to lose all that money. But that also just kind of goes to show you the importance of having a good real estate attorney, or having a real estate attorney, because they're going to find out. Sorry, they're going to find out who actually owns that land. Excuse me. So yeah, because you hear a lot of these horror stories, and you personally, you don't want to be involved in them, and you don't want to be a victim of those stories and or anything like that. So again, great questions all around. I think this is another great question from Shane Elo Coaching. What documents are needed to get started specifically if you're from another country? Great question. I think both that one and the one Rachel asked, like that's going to really start off the conversation. Again, to build a foundation of what it takes to own real estate. Because I think most people who are watching this are going to be from abroad, doing like at least starting the process from abroad. That's my assumption. And then kind of obviously when they get boots on the ground, kind of get things going. Kay asks, if it is a well-established developer gated community, is it okay to not use an attorney? Camille Lewis asks, why is it crucial to use an attorney? Excuse me. Is there any event where a customer may not need an attorney? What are the rates? Good question. And those are all the questions that I got so far. I think there are some, I'm just checking to see what the replies here are, but I think there's a mostly clarification. I see Angor replied to Kay, and she says, always use an attorney and not the one that recommended or connected in any way to the developer. Well-established developer means nothing in the context of Jamaica, especially when they have influential friends who operate outside the law. There are gated communities and gated communities, like quote and unquote. For some, it's a camouflage to draw in investors, a kind of Ponzi scheme where you end up losing your hard-earned money. Some well-established professionals are currently behind bars. Others are still causing mayhem and getting away with it quite openly. Do your due diligence and approach this with an open mind. You've been warned, not anything that glitters is gold. I think that's, again, this is another example, I would say, of you hearing like horror stories and you're just heeding warning. And yeah, I've heard of things of that nature. And I just general advice is just like here in Jamaica, especially if you're going to be doing business from abroad, you just want to use professionals, like no matter what. And I say that from the real estate attorney perspective, but then also from even if you're using a contractor, like you don't want to use your cousin's friend who knows a guy kind of thing. Like that's not the kind of thing that you want to do, or the kind of person that you want to hire. And I've put out many warnings about that, and because I've seen and been direct witness to horror stories such as that of that nature. So always you want to use the most professional people, and if you can get a recommendation from another professional who has actually used the services of said professional, that also helps a lot. But great questions. Any other questions that you may have from for the real estate attorney, please let me know. I will, up until probably maybe a few more hours, I'll take some more questions as I put together the program for my sit down. I'll take some more questions to add to that. So yeah, thank you for everybody who put in those questions. Let me get to the comments real quick, then I'll circle back to that question that I just have posted. Simone Irie says, my parents own a home in Jamaica. Should they put the house in a trust rather than put in their kid's name? Okay, I will take that question. Let me screenshot that. Thank you for that, Simone. I will ask that question to the real estate attorney. Caden Pat says, you were featured in the Washington Post in an article about blacks exiting the U.S. Keep up the good work, Throp. Thank you. I certainly will. I forgot to talk about that before we got into the real estate attorney. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I put that in the newsletter if you didn't see, but really awesome article. So we're going to touch on that, but I want to get into the details of that on Sunday. I'm going to save that one for Sunday, but thank you, Caden Pat. And could be that was one of the points discussed as pertaining to choosing an attorney as well, choosing the right attorney to handle the real estate transaction. Absolutely. Very important. K Natural says, and I want to touch on something else with that, Ingrid, in a second. K Natural says, can the person who pays property tax claim ownership after a certain time? Let me screenshot that. Shayna Love asks, are there different property tax laws for each parish, or are they all the same? Great question. Amazing questions, everybody. I'm just screenshotting them all. So Ingrid, with this, like, again, we've had family. I won't get into details, but we had, a situation where we had some land that we had purchased, and I'm trying not to get into the specifics too much, but essentially the lawyer that we were using, through his own mistake and admission of the mistake, the land wasn't transferred. All of the property of the land wasn't transferred into my family's name. And this took years to fix. It took quite some time for both parties, seller and buyer, to get on the same page. To get the lawyer, we were on the same page, but to get the lawyer on the same page and admitting their mistake to not putting our name on the land. And it was a good thing that we had a great relationship with the seller. Like, we're like family, and we really held the lawyer's foot to the flame, so to speak. And, if it was somebody else, they could have essentially taken that and ran with it because it was legally in their name. But it obviously, through the goodwill and conscience of the seller, we both fought for that. And it took literally years to get that back in our name. And then we also had to fight for attorney fees because they wanted us to pay attorney fees to put it back into our name, which it was rightfully supposed to be. And then we still had to pay money on top of that. And it should have been all of their responsibility because it was their mistake as an attorney. But this is a proven point of my experience, is like, choosing the right attorney is so important. It's very, 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 very important because, I won't go as far as saying like it was unethical. I mean, it was borderline unethical. Why wouldn't you admit a mistake that you made that was so clear as day, and it took so many months to do that? And it just kind of, and like, I'm not saying this to scare anybody off, but it's just more, again, heeding a little bit of warning of taking the time to do your due diligence, so you don't put yourself in a position where you have a lawyer that is not necessarily super straightforward. And we've worked with this lawyer for like many years. Like, my dad used him for many years, and you were just like, man, this is like unbelievable. And he was supposedly a really good lawyer, but you live and you learn, and it just kind of tells, like, it was just like a very hard lesson learned for me and my brother, specifically in this situation, should just the importance of crossing every T and dotting every I, and like you checking yourself. And also, just because you put it in the lawyer's hand, it's just like, it's not a done deal kind of thing. Like the attorney that I'm going to be sitting down with, best, I'll say hands down, best attorney that I work with in Jamaica, without question, without like, and I, hand on my heart. And like, I do not say that lightly. And she not only with real estate deals, but she's also represented, us on just like doing business contracts, in court. We had a silver matter, had to sue a tenant. Like, this was like what kind of almost when I first moved here. She's like in line with me. I remember I had to go to court. Oh my gosh, like almost every 2 weeks I was in court trying to sue this dude who had owed us like, I don't know, however many months of rent. We ended up winning the case, but it still felt like you lost kind of thing. You know what I mean? But she was excellent, like, very, very, very great. I guess, is it a litigator, the person like who's in the courtroom, like, fighting for you? I'm not sure the terminology, but she was great in the courtroom at the time. And so I'm really, really excited to be having her come on the podcast. But just, just another personal warning of just, man, really find a good real estate attorney and take your time in finding that person, because again, we thought we had one who we thought was friends of my dad, but when it came down to it, the morals and values were very questionable, to say the least. All right, let's get back to some of these questions. PAL or PAL says, how do you obtain lost title of grandparents? I will screenshot that. Hutchinson Johnson, thank you. Big up yourself as well. Simone Ari says, I'm so glad YouTube just recommended your channel to me a few minutes ago. Awesome. I didn't even know. That's so cool. Nice to have you on board. Nice to have you here. Yeah, Shayna, they were definitely trying to finesse us. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, property disputes can be so stressful because it and then also it's just like think about think and also know that there are going to be some very frustrating aspects of purchasing the property, right? And there's going to be some friction, and it may not go as smoothly as you want. But don't allow the frustration and friction that you may experience in the process of purchasing or maybe even selling, whatever side of the table that you're on. Don't allow it to have you rush through or push through the process just because of your frustration. Because you have to think that if there is some sort of mess up and that there is some sort of mistake, it's not going to take 5 minutes to figure out. It's not going to take a month. Like in our case, we were totally 100% correct, and it took years. Like I would say over 3 years, maybe closer to 4 years, I want to say, to rectify a situation that we had not, that wasn't our mistake, was our attorney's mistake. So just think about that, and just think of like when you are being frustrated, it's like, all right, it's just worth the time to be patient and to not give into my frustrations, and like, let's get the process down correctly so I don't have to regret it in a year from now or whenever this deal gets signed, that I'm going through this sufferation, if you will, of trying to rectify something that should have been right in the first place, and going through however many year process of trying to fix it or whatever the situation is. So just kind of keep that in the front of your mind as you go through your own journey of real estate in Jamaica. Channel of Coaching question: what are the criteria / characteristics to look for in a high quality real estate attorney? Great question, Shayna Love. Great question. Great question. We'll definitely add that to list. Wait, COVID, isn't it a hoax? I wish it was. This this mucus in my lungs isn't a hoax. I'll tell you that right now. But moving on, Ms. Perfectly Imperfect says, I've heard too many stories recently of unscrupulous attorneys in JA. Have to be careful. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes, litigator. Okay, I got it right. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate it. Ingrid B says, thank you for sharing the story. So question for attorney: what are the fees having an attorney handle the past purchase of real estate? Gotcha. I'm gonna screenshot that as well. It's a handful and a lot of patience, Ingrid says. Just be mentioned. Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, gotta be patient. Gotta be super, super patient through that process. So great questions for the attorney. Just keep them rolling in if you have any questions. I'm gonna hop up to that other question that I had on the board. Hopefully I can find it. I think the gentleman was asking about, here it is. All right. Okay. So this is from the community page. And like I said, I don't necessarily think this is a question for a real estate lawyer. This is from Dale Nelson. And he asked, where are the best, safest places in Negril to buy condos coming from the US, New York City, New Jersey area? And I'm going to assume that Dale specified that in terms of the type of accommodations that are residential options that you have in that area. And so Negril, I would say I'm going to, like, I always recommend, and, my dad tells me this too, and I tend to agree with him and kind of taking on this mentality and approach as well. Um, if you're moving back to Jamaica, like, more than likely you're going to want to be in a gated community. And my dad always recommends against, and I tend to agree with him. I definitely agree with him. It's just like, man, you probably don't want to move back to your old neighborhood, especially if it hasn't necessarily grown, like, more than likely like you have, right? So my assumption here, just my few assumptions that I'm putting into this example, is that you were born here in Jamaica, raised here in Jamaica, and perhaps as a young adult or a young person, you move abroad, you move to the United States, you move to New Jersey or New York, and you spend the majority of your adult professional career there. You either climb the corporate ladder, you are in healthcare, you have you have your retirement savings, maybe you've made a few investments in America, you're in the stock market, you're doing well, but you have done well, you've raised your family there, you've done well for yourself, being abroad for an extended period of time, and now you're looking to come back either to retire or to maybe finish out your career because you can do it digitally, or you can bring that, maybe you even want to start a business here, whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? You've moved up in life, is my point. And you may have not come from the best neighborhood, right? And you may still be friends with a lot of people there. Your family may be there as well. But the chances are, the likelihood that they have also come up, if you will, in the same way that you have, is probably unlikely. And it's, for you to come back, and then, like, I'm also saying this from the perspective of seeing this before, as, like, a lot of people come back and think things are going to be the same, and then you go there, and then all of a sudden you build like this 5-bedroom home in this relatively poor neighborhood that you came from. You kind of put a bullseye in your back, and like, we see that happen a lot too. And it's just like, that's not something that you want to do. And I always say, like, Jamaica is not, it's just not a place that you want to show your wealth. It's just, I couldn't do it. Like, I can't do it. Like, even, like, I'm not a wealthy person, I'm not a rich person at all, but if I ever do become that, it's like, you'll never know. It's just going to be same me. Like I'm going to be t-shirts and shorts, maybe pants sometimes. I'll probably have a running watch because I go for my runs, but that's it. Like, and I'm not saying that there's, no, I'm not telling anybody here that they shouldn't do that. If that's how your lifestyle, and that's how you want to be, like, at the end of the day, that's fine. But, Jamaica is, it's not America. America is a very rich country. It's one of the richest nations in the world. And Jamaica is not. Jamaica is far from that, and Jamaica needs a lot of help in many areas and many different communities. And there are a lot of people out there that will look at you as like, man, you can put a bullseye on your back. I'll just put it that way, and there is a lot of jealousy here too. I'm not going to lie that I'm very keenly aware of that. And that's also something to take in consideration. And I talked about this a few live streams ago, that is, about it's important to just know how to move in Jamaica. And it's just like, Jamaica is just, I just don't think it's a place that you should be flashy in. Like, again, if that's who you are and what you are, like, I guess that's fine. You probably have more of that in Kingston. And I'm obviously in the country here in Negril, right? So you just put that, an asterisk next to that as well. And so, yeah, you do see a little bit more wealth shown in Kingston for sure, like, without a doubt. But that's just not me. And then, like to me, it's just like, again, knowing how to move here is it's just important and something to keep in mind. And I think that's kind of going back to the example of moving back into your old neighborhood and driving a luxury car, building this big 4 or 5 bedroom home, and got big screens coming off the moving truck. I'm just like, man, what are you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? As like, it's just not a good look optically, right? So that's just one thing to keep in to keep in mind when you're thinking about moving back. And now, as far as specific to this question that Dale had in regards to like where to buy in Negril, there are several gated communities here, and so there is Little Bay Country Club, and that is sold out. That's in the northern part of Negril. That's kind of like when you first come into Negril, and those homes, man, I shouldn't even be saying prices because I don't even know what the resale is going for at this point. But so I'll just go off of this. I did a video last year with Margaret Edgar. She is a realtor with Valerie Levy and Associates, and we did a tour of 2 homes. And I believe we did, was it a 2-bedroom? I think it was going for $400,000. I think it sold for just over $400,000, I believe. And that was pretty much on the cliffs on the water at Little Bay Country Club. Gated community. They have a clubhouse with a big pool, tennis court, basketball court, and probably a bunch of other amenities that I'm forgetting at this time. But that just kind of gives you some context. Now, moving all the way downtown to the Aqueducts, I believe their 2 bedrooms are going for just over $300,000. This is I'm not on the beach. This is downtown Negril. If you know where Scotiabank is, there's like a lane going up before you get to Scotiabank. That's where the Aqueducts are. Now moving down to, I should bring up my map. I got my map. I keep forgetting I got this map. You guys know I love my map. Okay, let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. This is like my favorite thing to do these days. All right, I'm going to share my map so we don't even have to necessarily use our imaginations here. All right, going to share this map. Let's put some layers here. All right, perfect. All right, so let's just make sure we're all on the same page here. I'm going to take this down. And let's see if we can make that big. Okay, cool. All right, so this is Jamaica. And of course, Negril is all the way on the western most part of Jamaica. And here we have the 7-mile strip. And as I always say, the 7-mile strip is broken up into 5 and 2. So this is 5 miles here, which is known as Long Bay. So this is 5 miles of white sand beach here. And then just north of that is Bloody Bay, which is 2 miles, and that makes up the 7 miles. So let's go up here to Little Bay, which is, again, the northernmost part of Negril, I would say. So this is Little Bay Country Club. And this is the gated community that I was saying that is going for, don't hold me to this, but it was like just over $400,000 a little over a year ago. And that was a resale. That wasn't by the developer. And again, these are all completely sold out, and you'd have to purchase from a current owner. And the views here, especially here, are like along the cliff, are like beautiful views. Nice backyards, like really great place to host. A lot of people put their Airbnbs on there. And a little more context for the location. This is the Salt Creek Bridge, North Negril River. This is where the new Negril sign is, just about here, just so we know. And this is, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe this is the last phase of Little Bay Country Club. So this is still under construction right now, as far as I know. I talked a little bit about the amenities. So this is the tennis, I believe it's tennis court / basketball court that they have over there. And then over here, this is the clubhouse, and this is the pool that they have there at Little Bay Country Club. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of what they have to offer at that location. And then moving down south, so this is Riu Tropical Bay, and then these are all the all-inclusives. These are mostly on the northern part of the beach. So moving down all the way downtown. So here's Travelers. So we're basically downtown Negril. And so here's the roundabout here. And then we're going to go a little to the left over here of the roundabout. And then as you come up here, so this is Value Master, Scotiabank is right here. Burger King is right across the street. And then you come up this road, and this is where the aqueducts is. This is the gated community. So you come up this road, and then this is aqueducts. This is another gated community, and this is what I was saying. Don't quote me on this. This is I believe about 300,000 US for a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's a gated community. Has a pool over here, as you can see. Some of them do have pretty nice views. So you're overlooking the Value Master shopping center, and then you can see the ocean from there. Some of them do, not all of them. I took a tour there, and the ones who have that view are beautiful. Has a nice, beautiful view, and it is pretty quiet up there, I will say. All right, so that's another gated community. Moving, I guess, east here. So we're going across Nampro Road. Going across here. This is the Negril Police Station. We passed the fire station over back there. Then the bus park over here. This is the gas station, Sweet Spice over here, gas station here. And this is the Home Solutions past there. I believe there's a new gas station going here, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, can keep going. And then, so two other gated communities is Negril Estate, and then the other one that we're going to be visiting during Throp X is Vista Bella. And this is the other one that is under construction. This looks like the roads are in, but the roads are not in. The roads are there. They're being dug out, constructed. I don't know what to call it. But this is Vista Bella, which the actual property, from what I understand, horseshoes all the way around Negril Estate. So this is Negril Estate here. This is Vista Bella here. And the property actually goes all the way around Negril Estate. So it's a very, very big property. I don't know their pricing. He just told me to. I don't want to say the wrong price, but it's good pricing. We already have scheduled Mr. Daly. He's the developer, coming on board on the podcast. So I'm going to have him on shortly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, so he can talk about his property. And then we're actually going to be doing a tour of the property during Throp X. But these are all your gated communities in Negril. Oh, I forgot to mention Point Village is the other one. So these are I would say these are the newest gated communities. And with both Vista Bella and Negril Estate, this is buy your land, build your home. Whereas Aqueducts and Little Bay Country Club, those homes are already built. They are already complete. So you're turnkey. So with those ones, if you're somebody who wants to build their dream home, retirement, or whatever have you, then Negril Estate, Vista Bella, those are your main two choices to do that, and you're doing it within a gated community. So I hope that helps clarify some things. Let's go back. I knew Shayna was going to mention something about the geography class. Yes, this is my favorite thing to do. This is like so cool to me, right? Okay, so any question? Let me hop over to the comments here. Justin D says that's where the peanut porridge vendor is, right by the patty shop. You're 100% correct on that. That's so funny, you know that. All right, let's get up to these questions. Sonia Ross from the West End. Awesome. Welcome to Jamaica. All right, let's get up to some questions. All right, here we go. The Economic Ninja, I saw you in Los Angeles. Oh, yes. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for hopping on. King Naldo says, hi, Throp and Throppers. Good to see you, Naldo, coming up with the name for the community. I like that. Okay, Kay, with another good real estate attorney question here. I'm just going to screenshot it. So Kay says, who do you turn to when the attorney violates the law and legal ethics? In US, we have the Bar Association. So great question. And so we were considering that there is the Jamaican Bar. I don't know if that's what it's called, but we were actually considering doing that, bringing this guy to a higher power. And we're just like, man, is it worth this fight? Because he's it was he's a well-known attorney and everything like that. And it's like, man, do we really want to do that? Because it is, we thought it was very unethical, but we decided not to. We decided not to pursue the case any further, and we just left it alone. And at the end of the day, we just wanted to get the land in our name. And not cool at the end of the day, not really not cool. But there is the bar, that we could have brought them to, and then that would have taken us getting a lawyer to fight this and bring him to justice, so to speak. But we decided not to. But good question. Okay, I screenshotted that. I will bring that up in the sit down that I have with the attorney coming up. Ray says, hey, Throp, I think that you're right when it comes to attorney, because just close on a house in Jamaica, and I think that we did more work than the attorney did to complete the process. But hey, at least you have a peace of mind, right? I know the feeling. I know what you mean. At least you have a peace of mind. So sorry that you had to go through the process, but sometimes that's the way it is. But once you find a good attorney, hold on to them. Don't let them go, because it is difficult. It is difficult to find that. Same thing I say with like a construction company or anybody, anything like that. Like, hold on to them, because it is hard to find good people. It can be hard to find good people here. Richard Johnson Elliott says, why do attorneys charge a percentage rather than a fixed fee? I find the whole thing fairly extortionate. I won't put that part in, but I will ask that question. I won't put the last part in. I don't know. That's just kind of the way it is. I don't know, but I will find out. Andrew Blake says, make sure they are actually legally practicing attorneys. I hired one some time ago and found out later the person was barred. Oh boy, man. Sorry to hear that, Andrew. Yeah, but good point. Leaf Green says, drink up garlic and with ginger tea, add turmeric to the meals and herbs and teas, and get well soon. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that. Get some of that as soon as I get off this live. Try to get my voice back a little bit. Tania, hi, good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. Simone Irie says, moving back to the old neighborhood will cause feelings. Some people can be really bad mind. Definitely a gated community with people, other returning residents. Yep. Totally agree with that. Justin D says, as we say, too much bad mind. Yeah, that's can be the reality here for sure. Miss Perfectly Imperfect. That just reminded me of the scene from Coming to America when the prince first got to Queens. Yep. Oh man, great classic. Ingrid Baby 51 chiming in from Germany. Great to see you. Mountain High Sound chiming in. Sorry, I got confused. I got COVID brain here. Chiming in from Orlando. Mountain High Sound saying hello from Germany. Welcome from across the pond all the way in Germany. Scotty Beamer, hi, good to see you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Awesome. Thank you, Scotty Beamer. Nice to see you. Nice to have you on. Leach Green says, true, because if you go back to the same neighborhood to live, most of those people were born after you left the country, so they won't know you and you'll see you as a bank account. We have to be wise. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. There probably is a ton of young people that are living in your old neighborhood that don't know you at all. Great point. Yeah, always time for the map. Any excuse. Adrian Greens, George says, hi, Throp. Yes, I own a place at Little Bay and love I'm from the US living in Florida, but hoping to spend more and more time there. We met briefly at Travelers in September. Yes, I remember you. I remember this story. Good to see you on here. Thanks for joining. But yeah, as Adrian can say, it's a lovely place there. Really nice, really nice place there if you can get in there at this point. But we need more Little Bay country clubs in Negril. We need more of them. Like the demand is there. I can assure you the demand is there. And whoever is going to do that next is going to do really well. Kevin Malcolm says, do lawyers charge a flat fee or percentage of the sale price? They charge a percentage. I believe it's, if I remember correctly, anywhere between 2 and 3 or 2 and 5%. But I'm going to ask that anyway. I think that we already have that, but I'm just going to screenshot it anyway. And Kevin is chiming in from Toronto. Thanks for joining, Kevin. Scotty Beamer says, anyone looking for a great ethical real estate attorney in Jamaica, please look up my cousin, Ashley Innes. She's located in Sav. Okay, I didn't know. Never heard of Ashley, but I am screenshotting that. Thank you, Scotty Beamer. Adrian Moore says, any suggestions for reputable surveyors in Negril? Yeah. Just shoot me, man, because I think I have a wrong number. So I usually use, and I don't want to put his number on here, but I usually use Andrew Broomfield. That's who we've been using for a long time. He's well known here. But if you want his number directly, just shoot me a note, Adrian. I just put it in the comments there. throughoutmedia.com, and I will shoot you over his I have his email and his, I can put his email address, right? Okay, I won't put his number. Make sure I got it right. Lost it. That's his email address there. So shoot him an email, and if you want his phone number, just shoot me an email, and I'll give you his phone number, Adrian, and you can take it from there. And yes, don't forget to hit the like button. Definitely helps out a lot. Would appreciate that. ER chiming in from New York. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the well wishes. Ebony X, thank you so much. Chelsea Clinton, it's the Jamaica Bar Association or the General Legal Counsel of Jamaica to lodge a complaint against an attorney. Thank you for that, Chelsea. I knew there was something, but didn't know what it was called. Thank you. And Chelsea says it's between 2 and 3%, not 2 or 5%, 2 or 3% for the attorney fee. Thank you for that. Al Bale says inflation red hot, dollar keeps blasting higher, interest rates blasting higher, housing market collapsing, incoming. I don't know. I'm not one to speak about that. I don't know. I really have no idea about that globally or in America. But I do, speaking to realtors here in Jamaica, and of course take this with a grain of salt. They have incentive to say things of this nature, right? But they were talking about the '08 recession, and they were just talking about how Jamaica was fairly resilient. The real estate market was fairly resilient, and they continue to be confident moving forward. So just take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, that's coming from a biased place, but this is what I've been told, and this is what I've heard, and so just keep that in mind as another data point, not anything to make a decision off of. King Nala says, the most bad-mindedness and envy typically comes from your own family too. The family members who mistreated me as a child are the ones thinking I owe them the world. Yeah, that's what you hear, like the worst stories, honestly. It's from within families. That's where you hear the war stories, unfortunately. And, you know, you normally think like those are the people that you can trust the most. But then when and the reality, unfortunately, is it's not necessarily the case. So good point, King Naldo. Very good point. Also, like I said, do you want to touch on, hold on, the Washington Post article? Did I lose it? Okay, got it right here. All right, I'm just putting in the Washington Post article there. Hey, Rachel. Oh, you're right on time. You're not late. Thank you. It's nice to be back. Nice to see you. That's the Washington Post article that I was featured in last week, which was pretty cool. So it's a long read. If you haven't read it, take a look. I'm going to be going through it like, I wouldn't say piece by piece, but I'm going through it. I'll be going through it extensively. On Sunday. I'm trying to put the piece. I guess I don't have enough words here. All right. So I'm just putting in the comments I'm just putting in the comments the part of, there we go. Oh wow, it broke it all up. Okay, that's just the article. Sorry, it came in pieces like that. That's just the Washington Post. I'm going to go over it again on Sunday, and like I said, in pieces, in detail. But I'll just read it real quickly, the part that I just posted. So this is Washington Post, and it says, the case for leaving America to escape racism. As a Black woman, I want freedom from oppression, so I'm finally plotting my exit. And this is written by Deneen L. Brown. And she actually interviewed me for this a few months ago. And it's really a personal journey and a personal essay, and it's very insightful and goes into great detail of her journey. And I'm just so happy, and I think she's an incredible person for sharing this with the world. So this is my not to make it about me, but like I said, we're gonna go into the full article on Sunday in much more detail. We're probably going to spend at least an hour going through this. I think this is very relevant to our community, her journey, and again, super honored that I was included in this piece and part of her journey. So it reads, again, this is just my little snippet. Winthrop Wellington, 38, who runs Throp, a YouTube channel that highlights economic business development in Jamaica, has interviewed African Americans who have recently moved to the island. Wellington, whose father is Jamaican, permanently moved from New York to Negril after college. Last year, Wellington interviewed Rahel Tekla-Georges, a guest at his family's hotel who decided to move to Jamaica from Philadelphia during the pandemic. Quote, as a single Black female, I felt welcomed. That's the beauty of the culture here. Tekla-Georges told Wellington, wherever I go, they're like, Empress. It's just a beautiful thing to feel welcomed and valued and held up. It's a breath of fresh air. I would encourage folks to try it. Take the first step. After he posted the interview, Wellington noticed a theme in the video's comments. I realized there was an underground movement of people asking, how can I, as a Black American, move to a country where I don't feel oppressed and automatically judged by my skin color? Wellington told me. He added that during Donald Trump's presidency, people were driven to my channel. People were looking for a way out. He also noted that another element that may be a key driver to the trend: in the age of remote work, people can choose to live abroad without quitting their jobs. And that was the end of my piece. And there are other, and she goes through a lot of other examples and a lot of other influences and influencers that helped her along her journey to move out of the United States. So again, I felt super honored to be part of that article, and I encourage you to take the time to read it and go through it. And I think, again, it's really speaks to many people's reasons for being in this community. And like I said in the article, as I was quoted in the article, is that, the channel really again took off because people were just kind of really, and continue to be ready to leave. And it's not just Jamaica. I also want to make that clear. Like, a lot of people are going to other Black countries. A lot of people are going to Ghana and other different parts of Africa as well. And it's just, regardless of where you stand or where you are on the political spectrum, Donald Trump is a polarizing guy, and he made a lot of people feel unwelcomed and empowered a lot of other people, at least mentally, right? And so because of that, I think people decided they were just kind of tired of certain rhetoric, and they just wanted to be comfortable in their own skin on a day-to-day basis. And I spoke to that in the article. The author also speaks to that in her experience, and I thought it was an excellent written piece. And we'll be going through that on Sunday. So hopefully you can take some time to go through it between now and Sunday, and then we can have a nice discussion on it. We can have a nice discussion on it on Sunday. I will be going through details. If you don't want to read it, that's okay. Like I said, we're going to go through it. I want to just take out different snippets about it and talk through it. I think it's important to have discussions of this nature. All right, let's get back to the comments here. Negril 55 says, "Hey, Winthrop, been a while. Yes, Andrew Broomfield is the recommended surveyor." Yeah, awesome. Concurring with me. King Naldo says, "Also, thanks for that interview with a Canadian Jamaican investor who's looking to sell each home for over $600,000 in rural Hanover, of all places. I don't think he will take your interview again." Oh, no problem, man. That was good. That was a good interview. We're looking to have more people on, and there's no discrimination here in terms of what we talk about, right? And yeah, sure. I think it's important that anybody can come on here and talk about different properties and different aspects of Jamaica, from the highs to the lows. I think it's important that we discuss that. But of course, we're going to ask the hard questions at the end of the day, and I think that's the most important thing. And we want to get to the bottom of, no matter what, we're going to get to the bottom of whatever it is that you're bringing to the table here. And we want understanding at the end of the day. And I hope I did a good job of getting to the bottom of that understanding. I think that's super, super, super important. But yeah, over 600,000. Yeah, that was an interesting interview. I had fun doing it. Obviously I didn't expect it to go in that direction, and I did not expect it to be, I knew it was going to be luxury, but man, that's took it to a whole nother level for sure. Thank you very much, Chris, for the donation. This article sums up my long-standing emotional state. Nothing like acceptance in Jamaica. I agree. And I believe I mentioned this before. I don't know if this was before or after the article came out, but I can't remember. No, it was before. It was definitely before the article excuse me, it was definitely before the article came out, because it was during the interview that you're referencing, King Naldo, with those folks from that luxury development in Hanover. And one thing that I had that I spoke about during this, and this is in direct relation to what you're saying here, Chris, is that people tend to forget that this is real, that the systemic oppression and even just the existing and being Black and existing in America, and that it's in itself comes with pressure. And there are a lot of people who, and specifically, and I spoke to this, specifically Black American women of whatever heritage, whether it's Jamaican, Trinidadian, or just Black American, period, that have this weight on their shoulders, and they tend to be the ones who bear the weight, the heaviest weight of it all. And this is well documented. And I remember, and I brought this up in that interview specifically to have them understand that it's not necessarily people that are just looking to move to Jamaica for sun, sand, and sea. They are moving because they are leaving that state of mind and that state of oppression. And I shared that story, and there was a young lady who reached out to me that was very touched by it. And I was just like so amazed that she actually shared that with me, that this is just something that she feels every day and that she goes through by just living and existing in America. And it's just, I can't even begin to relate to that. I can't even begin to understand that. And what opened my eyes to that was this, I'm going to try to find it, so I'm not just referencing it just from my memory, is that there was a New York Times article and also podcast that was done on the mortality rate of Black pregnant women. So that's also the mortality rate of the women itself, and the infant mortality rate of Black women in America. And one of the contributing statistics as to why that the infant mortality and mortality rate of Black pregnant women was significantly higher than that of their white counterparts was the stress of being a Black woman. And I was like, that is crazy. That is just so crazy that was actually one of the factors that contributed to having a higher mortality rate than that to their white counterparts. I'm like, man, this is just so crazy. And like, when you talk about systemic racism, this is one of them that is like, to me, was plain and clear. And a lot of it too wasn't overt racism. It wasn't like that because you're Black, you go this way, or because you're Black, you go that. It wasn't that. It was just ingrained into the decision making of even doctors at that point. And one of the things that was automatically assumed was that Black women have a higher pain threshold than all other races. And so when a Black woman was complaining about they had, pain in their stomach or wherever it was not taken as seriously as a white counterpart. And again, it wasn't saying, and I do honestly believe this to be true, I don't think that they were saying that those doctors are racist or anything like that, but it was more so saying that it's ingrained into their brain and just being part of American society that it's assumed that a Black woman has a higher pain tolerance. And they might not even be thinking that consciously, but they automatically kind of subconsciously put them in that category, so they don't necessarily take their pain or the ailments as seriously or follow the necessary protocols when somebody is saying that they have this pain or have this ailment. And these are the type of things that really contribute to that, to the higher infant mortality rate and mortality rates of Black pregnant women. And that, again, that's one thing that like really, really opened up my eyes to this. This was like a few years ago. So I'm going to make a mental note to make sure that I try to find that article and share with the community and share on the community page. But it's real, that's my point in saying all this. Like, it's real, and people are, and not just Black women, just Black people in general, like in America, like they feel it, we feel it. And they are, people are tired of it, and that was my whole point in sharing that story with those folks from that luxury development. It's just like, man, it's more than that. People are not coming here to just be and go into a gated community and just stay and live there and not move and be cut off from the rest of society. Like, people are coming here to enjoy Jamaica and to live life because they didn't have that opportunity. At least they didn't feel like they had that opportunity in their previous life, so to speak. And so they're coming here for mental freedom. They're coming here for like physical freedom as well. And it's just like, that's something that needs to be taken into account highly when putting together a development or even enticing people to come to Jamaica. And it's just like, it's not surface level things that people are coming here. And I think that's the majority. It's like people are literally coming here for freedom. And it's a crazy thing to say in 2022, but that is really just the fact of the matter. And it's well documented just alone on this channel and with DMs that I'm getting from people, and then also in the comment section here and in interviews that I'm doing. So it's just something to take into consideration. And, if you yourself are people, you yourself are experiencing this from the system and from your real day-to-day life, I mean, definitely, you're not alone. And, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but I just wanted to just, reiterate that point, And, thank you again for the donation, Chris. And I just thought it was a good opportunity to reemphasize, why people are doing this. It's not about money. Definitely, big part is like, of course we need money. We need economics to make things happen. But, people are moving for bigger and greater reasons. Okay. Yeah, that was a long rant here. Let's go back to the comments here and see what's going on. Jackie Allen, good to see you. Dale Clark says, I agree, Throp. Sometimes the envy is in our own family. I've seen it where some feel as though you owe them something. Yeah. It is unfortunate. Leaf Green says, this might sound foolish, but I was wondering if the wrong people move there and now create racism in the country that doesn't even know it. Are you talking about in America or in Jamaica? I'm sorry, I might be taking your question out of context, your comment out of context. Shane Love Coaching says, you're just using your platform for diverse discussions, candid conversations, spicy. Yeah, I'd like more of those, right? And invite more people with different mindsets on here to have these sort of discussions. Shane Love Coaching says, Serena Williams went through the same medical treatment and she's a well-known athlete. It's crazy. Yeah, I heard about her pregnancy and what she went through, and she almost lost her life and the baby, I believe. It's crazy. And she has all the money in the world, right? But at the end of the day, she's a Black woman, same thing. And it may not be overtly racist from the doctor, but it's just in the psyche of America. All right. Justin D says economic freedom is a must. Also, I think that's so important, not just individually, but as a people. And I'm assuming that this is what you also feel the same way, Justin. You need to be economically free individually for sure, but I mean, even as a people, I mean, I think that is just so important. Rachel A says, well, that's my story. I'm just existing in the big bad US. I never accepted my life here. Yeah. Yep. I know the feeling. Rachel, but you'll be here soon. Your mom will be here soon. Scotty Beamer says, there are historic records written by doctors that state that Black people have thicker skin than other races, and Black people were given less anesthesia than other races during surgery. That's crazy. That makes me so upset. That's crazy. Unbelievable. So that makes me upset just even reading that, but I believe it. Justin D says, a doctor once told me my symptoms were related to my ethnicity. Wow. Then proceeded to overprescribe me some medication I didn't even need. Unbelievable. This is ridiculous. I'm almost sorry I brought this subject up because this is just making my blood boil. Believe you 100%, Justin. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm really sorry to hear that. Adrian George says, I'm an OBGYN in the US. There are multiple layers for the disparity, but that is why I battle why I battle with to do I move permanently or go back and forth. It's just hard to be in this profession and not change. Yeah, that's tough. That's really, really tough. I can imagine what you go through in being in that profession. Um, because it's also like you probably know, like in your absence, that there are certain things that are going to fall through the cracks, right? And you are not going to be there to give the care that you would give as opposed to maybe other OBGYNs, right? And that's a tough conversation to have with yourself, and tough position to be in for sure. I 100% feel you on that. Andrew Blake says it's a lifestyle choice that I returned Throp. Coming back home was like taking off a heavy overcoat. Man, I know exactly what you mean. I'm a bit as busy as ever, but in such a more relaxed way. Bless up to everyone. Glad to hear that, Andrew. Glad to hear that, and thank you for sharing. Jackie Allen says, I saw that article too, Throp. I think it was also on 60 Minutes that they were talking about the Black woman mortality rate. Oh, really? Okay. That's crazy. I'm going to try to look that up. I think that's such an important share, like such an important share. I'm going to really try to find that. Thank you, Jackie. Simone Irie says, it's true about treating pain in Black people versus whites. As a healthcare professional, I've had to advocate for Black patients, especially people with sickle cell. Some people don't believe their pain. That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. I'm not in healthcare. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But man, you would think everybody would be getting treated the same and the same level of service no matter what. That's hard. That's sad to read that sort of things coming from the horse's mouths here. You guys are all you're in this day to day in the trenches, and you guys are saying this. Born Under the Clock says, so true. One of the main reasons we are less affected by opioid crisis in the States is because we're always under medicated for pain than whites. That's crazy. That could be true. That could be true. I thank God that we had the crack epidemic in the 70s and 80s. Whether that was done by the government or not, who's to say? But thank God that I know it affects our communities in acute ways, but nowhere near the opioid crisis, that is, but nowhere near that is affecting the white community. Thank goodness, and we don't want to have any part to do with that in any big way. But yeah, stay away from those things as much as possible. Scotty Beamer says, I felt the same way you did. You do, Throp, excuse me, when I read it. Google it. No, I will. I'm going to Google a lot of this stuff after I get off this live. But man, it's extremely, extremely infuriating. Extremely infuriating. Mosaic says, hey, Throp, glad you're doing well. What do you think about Aqueducts Negril? Good question. I just went through that. I just went through that. So Aqueducts Negril is a double-edged sword, and we talked about it in my last interview with and how am I forgetting his name? St. Alban Clark, who's a realtor who's based in Montego Bay, who's looking to come to Negril. And he is in charge. He's in charge of selling Aqueducts Negril downtown. So I will encourage you to definitely check out that interview with St. Alban Clark. He's a well-versed, well-informed realtor. I have a very good rapport with him. And sorry, I'm just getting the clip for you, the episode. So take a look at that. I will also encourage you to contact him as well. And his contact information is in the, actually, let me see if I can pull it up for you quickly. Got it right here. So I'm throwing you his contact information, and I'm doing this because he already gave me the okay to share with the community. So hit him up with any questions that you have about aqueducts. And going back to it being a double-edged sword, it doesn't have the greatest location. That's the one thing that I will say. However, it is technically the newest constructed gated community in Negril. That's the thing. That's the double-edged sword. So you got new construction. You have new construction, but not the greatest location. If you get an apartment that, and I'll bring up my map here, and if you see here, sorry, where did my map go? Okay, there we go. If you see here, so this is aqueducts here. So Scotiabank here, Burger King across the street, and then you come up here, and this is aqueducts right here that we're looking at in the middle of your screen. And then some of these have unencumbered views, and it's on a hill, kind of. This is the top of the, you can't see where I'm pointing on the screen. This is the top of the hill here. And so some of these apartments have unencumbered views of the Negril Beach. Some of them. So some of them you do get a view. And so, you're not on the beach, but you're 5 minutes from the beach, sort of thing. You're right downtown. Grocery shopping, etc., is right there. That's also, I would say, that's a plus if you want that convenience, right? Is the grocery shopping. You're downtown. The bank is right there. The beach is 5 minutes away, etc., etc. And when I say the location isn't good, it's like, I won't say it's not good, but it's not Little Bay Country Club, right? That's the only thing. You're not on the beach, but you're probably, the likelihood of you getting something on the beach is, it's tough now from a residential standpoint. It's really, really tough. The only other place that I would say that you can get is Point Village, but this is, it's not new construction. It's a dated property. You have to buy it. You buy your property, and then you'd have to, if you can find something for sale too. But there are, I shouldn't say that. There are apartments that are for sale. These are not homes. So these are apartments. So they have studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. And I don't know of any 3 bedrooms that are available for sale at this time. But this is another option, and it has 2 beaches. So this is their regular beach, I guess you call it. They have a regular chlorine swimming pool, and then they have what they call a rock pool. So that's a saltwater pool here. And then over here is the nude beach, which is connected to hedonism, which is, everybody knows, hedonism is a nudist hotel, I guess you would call it, and hedonism too. So there, Point Village's nude beach and hedonism's nude beach are connected. And then beauty of that is that it is connected to the 5 mile strip. So you can walk from Point Village hedonism all the way to downtown Negril. You're looking at about a 5 mile walk there. So that's what I mean when I say it doesn't have the best location, but take that with a grain of salt in terms of what is available. So just put that into, to me, it's like when you're looking at real estate specifically here in Negril, it's just like you want to know what everything is, what's all available. I will also, and I mentioned this before while we're on the topic. So here we're downtown Negril, right? And I also brought up, brain is not working properly. West Isle is it called? In Little Bay Country, in Little London. So downtown Negril here. Let's see if I can find it. I might have to type this in. Boom, boom, boom. Sheffield. Negril spot. Shermack Autos. Okay, we're seeing how good I am. New Hope Police Station. Is it this far? Little London Police Station. No, we're not. Oh, here it is. Bam, look, I'm good. Okay. This is West Isle Homes. This is another development that is, can we drop a pin here? How do I drop a pin? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, this is West Isle. Oh, there we go. West Isle Homes. So this is another housing development. They have 27 units for sale. Can we get to there? And let's see if we can bring that up. And this is what it looks like. So this is about, I timed it. We're looking at about 15 minutes to downtown Negril. Brand new construction. Pretty nice stuff. I haven't gone inside. I've only went outside. Pretty nice. This is another turnkey situation. Construction is all of the homes are actually, the structures are actually up. This is an old picture. These are, I think, architectural renditions. We'll get to the website in a sec here. But, you know, my point is that, you know, this is not too far from Negril. And in Little London, about 15 minutes. Let's see if we can, boom, right there. We've already been there. And I'm just trying to get the pricing here. Okay, so the 2-bedroom is going for, again, bringing context, I said that the 2 bedrooms downtown Negril Aqueducts is going for about 300,000 US. This is about 15 minutes away from Negril, 2-bedroom, brand new construction, 203,000 US. Again, formulating context of the real estate market environment here in the Negril, wider Negril area. Like I said, 27 units. And do they have 1-bedroom or studios? It doesn't look like it. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what's happening. And this, you know, this is going to do, from what I hear, they're doing well as far as sales. And this is kind of speaking to the wider, the demand, I would say, you know, and this is why I'm saying, like, man, if you do this in Negril, you're going to sell out, and you don't have to be on the beach. This is obvious to me. You know, this shows me, like, you don't have to be on the beach. You don't even have to be 5 minutes from the beach. You can be 15 minutes from the beach. And mind you that this is this is purely my opinion. I'm not telling you to do this or anything like that. I find this to be a good long-term investment, because what also is happening here is that this is West Isle Homes, right? And this is Jam West Motorsports is here. Like, so right here, if you haven't been there, I did a video on them. Jam West is awesome. They have, you know, the best race course in the West for sure. They have a lot of races there, but there is also a development happening in Little Bay. You know, we were talking about the controversy that's associated with Little Bay, and there is from what the article said, a $5 billion US development that's happening here with hotels and thousands of rooms, et cetera, et cetera. Little Bay is gorgeous. If you've ever been there, it's this like completely untapped, beautiful, beautiful place. And there is supposedly going to be a big development that's happening here in Little Bay. And right now there are many people who have been living there and squatting there, some I've heard for 50 plus years, and they're trying to relocate them to a different area. And so that's the big controversy with Little Bay that is happening. And, you know, I bet you know, you buy where we, man, I lost my place here, but I bet you buy, you know, a place in West Isles, that place, you know, now, you know, obviously you're only 15 minutes from Negril, but then, you know, when Little Bay gets built, if and when it does get built, man, this is going to be worth a lot more than 200,000 US. I could tell you that. So this is, again, my opinion and understanding the direction that Western Jamaica is going, Westmoreland is going, and seeing this here happen now. And I do believe like there is room for expansion for this development. If I understand what the developer owns in terms of other property. So this is, I would say this is a good buy. I would, my opinion, especially since there isn't a lot of other options in Negril at this time. I also say you can create your own options, and I think that is also an option in and itself, is to create your own options in Negril. And what I mean by that, and I've said this before multiple times, is like, getting together, a group of real estate not developers, a group of like-minded people who want to start a real estate development. Does anybody know I forget the name of it. Let's try and look it up together. There's a development in White House Beach Club. This must be it. Yeah. Is this it? Let's see. Nope. That's White House in America. That's not what we're looking for. White House Beach Club. So this development is in White House, and this was done, from what I understand, this was put together by a group of friends who put their money together to make this development. And again, from what I understand, I was like, they're doing exceptionally well. I hope this is the same one, but this looks exactly like the one that I'm referring to. Sorry, just quickly going through. Yeah, this is it. So you're looking at about, I would say, call it an hour from Negril. The only thing with White House is like, and I'm not saying this to bash on White House, but there's nothing in White House. And that's the only thing. And I'm saying this from a very biased perspective of being somebody who advocates for Negril. And these homes are selling for 500,000 US starting, right? Let's see if we can get another one here. This is another one. This is in the same development. I mean, these houses are gorgeous. This is the development here. I understand that they built a tunnel from, if you look at this picture, hopefully you can see it pretty well on your screen. But they, from what I understand, they built a tunnel from, is this the same thing that I'm looking at? It doesn't look like it. They built a tunnel from one side of the street to the other. This might not be the same one, because this looks crazy. This could be it, but it looks like the same houses. I'm almost certain that this is the same one. This is definitely the same one, same development. Beautiful place, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I know this one realtor on 580,000 US. I know this one realtor on Instagram. They did a tour of this place, and I was like, man, this place the homes are massive. Like the ceilings are just real, floor to ceiling is just really, really impressive. And yeah, they, I was just like, man, you put this in Negril, this is gonna do crazy. And it doesn't, and my point is just like, it doesn't have to be that. My point is like, as a group of people, you can pool your money together and, create a development, not necessarily of this, getting to this nature of this, this magnitude, but it just shows that it's possible is what I'm saying. It just shows it's possible, something consider. And that's what I mean by, hey, yo, let's do our own or do your own thing. And yeah, it's really beautiful. I gotta, I'm trying to do a tour there at some point and to hopefully sit down with one of the developers on the podcast to find out some inside information. Yeah, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice place. Yeah, let's hop over into the comments. Where are we? Okay, Ingrid. So let me take this down. Ingrid Baby 51 says, Leaf Green, I agree with you. We as Jamaicans living out the diaspora definitely need to go back to Jamaica and buy land and homes, or else the wrong people will do it and turn Jamaica into ... Fair point. Simone Ari asked, how much are the HOA fees for the aqueducts? I think, I hope St. Alban talked about that in our interview. I'm not sure. I will find out. It's a few $100. I know that for sure. I don't know. Under 500 for sure. I just don't know what it is. And it's dependent on how big your apartment is as well. I'll get back to you. I'm sorry I don't have that at the top of my head. TJC2 Cooper says, who's buying and is it for Airbnb rentals? I believe you're talking about the St. Isle, the West Isle property. I know a lot. It's mostly Jamaicans, from what I understand. It's mostly Jamaicans that are buying it. Either Jamaicans here or Jamaicans who are living abroad that are buying that property. And I haven't heard of any. I haven't heard of any restrictions as it relates to Airbnb. But I will, at some point, I'm going to sit down with the developer and get some more information on that. Good question. GJC2 says, what development is happening in Little Bay? Scotty Beamer says $5 billion US. Yeah, $5 billion. It remains to be seen, but it's some extremely wealthy people that are doing it, that are doing that development. But I understand like multiple 1,000-room hotel is going there. That's what I think is happening there. GJC2. That's what I heard multiple times from multiple sources. Hasn't been confirmed or anything like that, but that's what multiple people have told me. Simone Irie says, I was in Petersfield, Westmoreland 2 weeks ago and noticed Carawina Estate sign announcing the development is coming to that area. Really? First time hearing that. Carawina. Just typing that in so I can just look that up later. Thank you for that, Simone. I will look into that. Moreland Development. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for that. Scorpion 2958. Kevin says, yes, they built a tunnel from the development under the road so residents can access the beach. I think that was amazing. Yeah, that very, very forward thinking. Kevin says, I believe the White House Beach Club has an investor's package and can manage the property for you if you plan on short-term rentals. Yes, I heard the same thing. Kevin. Great point. Great point. Thank you for bringing that up. Shane Love Coaching says, very modern, very beautiful and modern. Simone Ari, people are also buying digital JA property like in the metaverse. Is that what you mean? Scotty Beamer says, I think he's talking about restaurant shops, nightlife. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, there is nada. You're there to live. That's it. Beach. Yeah, I guess they got the beach across the street. But maybe this will inspire some other things to happen in White House. Mark McCarthy says that's my border. Yeah, beautiful development, high end for sure. All right. I'm looking up the Carwina estate. Oh yeah. I'm just going to bring that up. Thank you for bringing that up, Simone. Let's add that. So this is Carwina estate. I just hopped on their website. Jamaica's first smart city, modern living in the heart of Westmoreland. Delivery date purchase December 2024. 1,000 square foot spaces starting houses and apartments. Call for more information. It says about the development. Carwina Estates is located in Westmoreland, 10 minutes away from South Lamar, between the city and nature. The development is comprised of 400 plus unit housing complex, from affordable homes to luxury detached homes and apartments. In addition to housing, Carwina Estates offers a holistic, balanced approach to living, with an on-site professional commercial city center and office spaces alongside opportunities to relax and unwind with outdoor activities, including nature trails, a recreational sports complex, and nearby beaches and waterfalls. Carwina Estates provides a living solution for everyone to live, work, play. 2-bedroom, twin palm. Hold on, we'll get into that in a second. I'll click it in a sec. Just want to keep looking at the rest of the website. Your home, your future, the world at your fingertips, in balance with nature. And we got some architectural renditions here. Oh wow, it's huge. So it's like a city, like a mini city. They don't have it pointed out on the map. But you say it's in Petersville, right, Simone? Oh, this is it right here. No, that can't be. Petersfield. Okay. It's led by its lead co-developers. So we're finding out all this together. Let's see if we can. Oh no, we gotta put in our info for the. All right, let's check out the 2-bedroom here. Special pre-construction price available. Call now. Okay, sorry everyone, no prices. Should we call them live right now on the live stream and try to find out if we can get prices? That wouldn't be fair, would it? Don't want to do that. But yeah, this looks nice. This looks pretty nice. They call this the twin palm. Let's see what the 3-bedroom looks like. It's almost 1,600 square feet. Nice layout. Thank you for this, Simone. This is giving me some more homework to do. It says 30 minutes from Negril, 30 minutes from White House, 10 minutes from Bluefields. Am I reading this backward? 10 minutes from South. I don't know this nature park. Abeokuta Paradise Nature Park. I don't know what that is. Look that up. Has anybody heard of this? This looks pretty cool. Gotta put this on the list. I don't know my parish. Super green. All right. Something to look into. Okay. Went on down a little rabbit hole here. Oh, you want me to call? Everyone wants me to call. All right, let's call. All right, let's do it. Let's go. All right, let's call. Where's the Where's the phone number? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. All right, let's make a phone call. All right, let's all right, putting them on speaker. All right, you guys are about it. They might be closed. It's 6. It's after 6.
Thanks for calling Carolina Estate Sales Office. Please leave a short message or WhatsApp us, and we will return your call.
All right, they got another number. Let's call that. Yeah, we might, maybe, nah.
Thanks for calling Carolina Estate Sales Office. Please leave a short message or WhatsApp us.
Okay, next Thursday. We'll call next Thursday, and we'll call before 5:00. So we'll do that. We'll make that. We'll call early. So we'll put that on the list that we're going to call them early, and we'll find out some more information together. Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be fun. Good advertisement for them, right? And it's good entertainment for us. Okay, let's wrap up some of these comments, and then we'll call it a night. This was fun. Time flew by today. Negril 55 says, what do you think of having development in the hills, Orange Hills, and further back from the west end? I think I talked about this maybe a month ago. I think that that is the perfect location. Now you're going to make me bring up the map again. I think that is the absolutely perfect location for a development of the Carolina size, 400 plus units or something like that. Because if you go here, just pull down your comment so we can have. So there's just so much space back here. There's so much space, so much land that is just prime for development. And it is it's so hard for me to tell you how beautiful this is. If you've been to West End Inn, if you've been to Jackie's, but then also, even if you're up here these are hills, you can't really see the topography or understand the topography. So this is very high. This is very, very high. I don't know what can you see elevation here? Oh no, I guess you can't. Sorry. I'm trying to see if you can see terrain. Oh yeah, here we go. Terrain. It doesn't really give you, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't really give you the height. But my point is you're pretty much on top of almost like a mountain overlooking the sea. It's so beautiful. I think all of this is ripe. We talked about in that conversation about I think it was 20 acres of land that was being sold for $2 million US or something like that, really back here. And just so beautiful, so beautiful of these views. This is Estate Serenade, that they rent this for $5,000 US a night, this property. But just beauty all down this coast. And you put anything here, man, you probably just don't want to leave. The only thing I would say is if you did a development of that nature that deep into the West End, you want it to be an all-encompassing situation where you can have, your grocery store. You don't little running around. You need a pharmacy, you need a grocery store, maybe even a gas station. I don't know, but you want to be as self-sufficient as possible once you're that deep, because you don't want to like have to run, it's like a 20-minute drive to go get some toothpaste, right? You want to avoid that as much as possible by being so secluded. And it's not necessarily far. It's just like, it's very windy roads, like to get back to, I'm trying to see. Oh yeah. Like to get back to civilization, so to speak. So like if you wanted to like say go from West End and go into back to downtown Negril, like just look at these roads, and this ain't the I-95. This is, a lot of it is, I wouldn't say dirt roads, but it's like, it's not the best roads, like going all the way from West End and up and down these hills. And then you're traveling through the mountains and going through up and down, going through Whitehall, and then you end up here outside on Nampro Road, which is pretty much downtown Negril here. Same if you were, instead of going that way, you go, you take West End Road. Like this road is pretty bad. Not pretty bad. This road is really bad until you get to pretty much the lighthouse. Sorry. And then you're still traversing the coastline of West End Road, which is a very slow and windy road, 1-lane traffic type situation. So you're looking at a solid 20-minute drive. That's the only thing if you're doing something back here. So that's something to take into consideration. But I think was it Negril 55 who said that? Yeah, I think you're right on. You hit it right on the head. Kinaldo says, hey, Throp, lately there seems to be an uptick in crocodiles infestation in Westmoreland, Blue Lagoon, Portland, and Mobay recently. Have you heard of any sightings in Negril? No. I was away for the last week or so, but I haven't heard anything. The only thing that I heard was about the whale. You guys heard about the sperm whale that we had here the other day that was out in front of, man, what hotel was that? One of the all-inclusive. So it was up by, man, Azul. So that we had a sperm whale that was out there. I'm sure if we look it up real quick. Sperm whale, yep. Where is the video? Somebody actually, oh, there it is. Like this guy actually went out there. So it's a really bad picture. But this guy actually went out there and, I don't know, swam with him. But yeah, that's the whale right there. You guys hear about this? I thought that was pretty cool. Everybody's saying it was because of Hurricane Ian kind of brought him in and he was stuck there. But they're harmless. They don't like try to eat people or anything like that. So that was pretty cool. But no, didn't hear anything about crocodiles. Oh, Simone Irene says, yes, people are buying virtual JA properties in the metaverse. I believe that will be the next thing, just like almost all major companies have Facebook, Instagram, etc. now when they didn't care before. Yep. Yeah. That's pretty cool that people are buying virtual. I'm not in that space yet. That's pretty cool. And Justin says, yeah, it was a hurricane. Yeah, I believe that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. I think we are I'm coming through with the breaking news. Free Willy, that's right. Oh man. I think we're going to start closing off. Let me just get these last few comments in and we'll say goodbye. Granville Johnson says, I'm a realtor in the US And there are bad real estate attorneys here too. In fact, I know one who went to prison for shady things he did. Yeah, okay. I guess that's all around. Chris Charles says, powerful show tonight. Throp, much peace, family. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining. We got some, I don't know which button it is. Oh yeah, this is our goodbye music. We got some music going on here now. Doing some upgrades on the pod. I don't know, is it even playing? I can't even hear it. Okay. Anyway, we're going to call it a wrap there. Thank you all for chiming in and being part of this Thursday Live. Definitely coming on Sunday. Going to try to aim for 11 o'clock Jamaica time Sunday morning. And we will go over the in more detail the Washington Post article. And if you haven't, take a read. That would be cool. And it was all. Thank you everybody also for your great, amazing attorney questions. I'm doing the sit down tomorrow, so really, really helpful, really timing. It was a really interactive one today. Thank you so much. Rachel says, my mom is stuck on the screen. Won't miss a show. Have a great night, everyone. Awesome. Happy to hear. Good night. Thank you all so much again. And we'll be coming back on Sunday for sure. This was a great way to come back feeling great. Thank you all for making me feel great. And thank you for the well wishes during my battle with COVID. And thanks for joining, Simone. It was lovely having you all. Lovely having you. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend as it comes in. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yes, today's Thursday. COVID fog, I tell you. Night, everybody. Thanks for joining again.